Hi, my name is Erin, and this is the first video of my Ford Transit 350 van conversion. I've had the van for about 8 or 9 weeks, and I have been anxiously awaiting the time when I could actually get started on my van build. So I've taken out all the seats, which I will show you in just a moment. And I have also labeled all of the headliner panels as well as the side panels that I'm going to be removing today. So I thought I would video the process of doing this. I'm sure I won't get it all right the first time, and I'll have to kind of figure it out as I go, but I'm super excited to just get started on this and see where we end up. So I'm going to show you how I've labeled everything here. So I got the first one off on camera. I wanted to see if I could do it before I put anything on camera. And now I'm going to show you how this tool works. So you just slip it underneath. You slip it underneath and then rock that out, and it just pops the tab out like that. Pretty simple, actually. So I'm going to get going on the rest, and then when I come to something a little different, I'll be sure to show that to you as well. Okay, so this is the rear panel. Let's see if I can get a good shot. So the light is still on back there, so I'm going to want to get that disconnected here pretty quickly. So these are the holes for the plugs I had just pulled out, and then there are these additional plugs, I guess, that go up into these other holes up here to hold the panel in place. So right now this panel is being held on by these columns here on the side. So once I get all the panels loosened, I will start to take those out and drop them all to the floor. So this is what it looks like when you're pulling that down, and then these just come out, and there is that second little thing there that I've got to be really careful when I pull on, because I don't want it to come loose from the headliner itself. So here's kind of what it looks like when I'm pulling one of these down. I'm going to switch hands because I am not left-handed. So I just reach in here with my fingers and pull down and pop that out. So when I come to this one, it's a little more tricky, so I want to be careful that I don't pull it away from the headliner itself. So I just kind of stick my hand inside here. There's a little gap, and then a finger on each side and pull down. So again, this panel is just being held in by the side panels. All right, all 3 panels are hanging down. Now we gotta see what we have when it comes to wiring. So these were way easier to pull off than I thought they were. It's just basically a grommet or a flange that goes over this. So you just pull it down and it slips right off. So it'll be real easy to get this rear headliner off once I pull it out from under the weather stripping around the door. So that's pretty cool. I thought I was going to have to unbolt things. Thank goodness I won't. All right, so I pulled one of the rear side panels off. I'm going to do the next one. You just kind of grab it with your hands and pull it out. It has these prongs that slide into notches and channels on the door, as well as these here that connect it to the panel below. So it's just going to come out like a puzzle piece. It should be pretty easy, but let's see how I do on this next one. So you have to kind of reach behind the weather stripping and just give it a good tug. And bring it down. So not too hard at all, actually. So you can see that the only thing holding this panel up is this attachment here, which I will just pull and disconnect, and this panel should be done. So as you go, you kind of notice things that you couldn't see from one side that you notice on the other. So here's another one of these black things that needs to be pulled down right now. That and this connection for the lighting is the only thing holding this panel in place. So I'm going to disconnect the lighting, which is really easy. You just unplug it. These wires I will also remove, which is pretty easy, but I'm kind of gonna get to a point, they just pull out of here, but I need to watch some more videos on how to safely do that. So we are going to see a panel drop here. Oops, remember what I told you about it coming unglued? The weight of that just pulled that off the panel. And then we want to go ahead and get this off. Well, that was easy. As you can see, it dropped. So this is a little bit like a can of worms, which I knew that it would be. So there was a tube going across connected to these attachment points here in the van for the air conditioning ductwork that went through. That will all be coming out. That's for the rear air conditioner. And I need to do a little bit more research on how to disconnect the rear air unit, which is here. It seems a little bit involved as far as having to basically you have to discharge the unit because it's under pressure and blah blah blah. I don't know, it seemed a bit complicated. So that's how those come out. You just give it a good tug. So you can see that the only thing holding this panel up is this attachment here, which I will just pull and disconnect, and this panel should be done. So as you go, you kind of notice things that you couldn't see from one side that you notice on the other. So here's another one of these black things that needs to be pulled down right now. That and this connection for the lighting is the only thing holding this panel in place. So I'm going to disconnect the lighting, which is really easy. You just unplug it. These wires I will also remove, which is pretty easy, but I'm kind of gonna get to a point, they just pull out of here, but I need to watch some more videos on how to safely do that. So we are going to see a panel drop here. Oops, remember what I told you about it coming unglued? The weight of that just pulled that off the panel. And then we want to go ahead and get this off. Well, that was easy. As you can see, it dropped. So this is a little bit like a can of worms, which I knew that it would be. So there was a tube going across connected to these attachment points here in the van for the air conditioning ductwork that went through. That will all be coming out. That's for the rear air conditioner. And I need to do a little bit more research on how to disconnect the rear air unit, which is here. It seems a little bit involved as far as having to basically you have to discharge the unit because it's under pressure and blah blah blah. I don't know, it seemed a bit complicated. So That's how those come out. You just give it a good tug. All right, so I am done for the day. I didn't do the doors yet. But the inside is coming along. So that's the other door. I put the step back in. Well, I didn't put the covers on because I will have to take it off again when I remove the carpet. But I got all the side panels off, with the exception of right here, because I realized I do not have the right size socket for the bolts that are holding the jack bracket in place. Not sure what to do about the rear air conditioner. So this is part of the extra work that has to be done when you buy a passenger van instead of a cargo van. I'm gonna hop up into the van here real quick. So one of the next things I will do, obviously, is to take that last side panel off and the wheel cover, as well as the wheel cover on this side. I just ran out of time today. I will also remove that remaining air conditioner duct after I get the airbags taken out. I'm inclined to think the wiring will stay in place. I will just unplug things I don't require, because I do not feel like going through every single one of these to figure out what they go to and what they don't. So I think I'm just going to disconnect things like the exterior speaker, for example. I don't know what that is. There are a couple of them. So I have that one and that one. And there are two on the other side as well. So I'm going to have to take a picture and ask some questions. And this was connected to a 12-volt charger that was in the back seat for passenger. So I'm just not sure about those little doodads, the gray ones. But anywho, the big deal is going to be these. So those tubes are the airbag inflators. I got simulators, so when I disconnect this, I can connect the simulator to the end, which is going to make this think that it is still plugged into this, which is going to make sure that my airbag light doesn't stay on the dash, because then if the front airbags, if something was wrong with them, I wouldn't know if there actually was something wrong, because the light would be on all the time. So because this was a passenger van, by law these airbags had to be there, but because it is no longer going to be a passenger van, it is legal for me to take them out. However, I am not removing the airbags in the front of the vehicle. Those will stay intact. The next things I'm going to do is I will take this part of the headliner off. Drop it down, I should say. I'm not removing it completely, but I will drop it down so that I can insulate under there, because man, just the fact that there's no insulation in these vans to begin with, but there was a lot of heat that was trapped between the top of the car and this section here. So when I dropped those, the van just went sky high as far as the heat, which makes me think that I should do work on days when it's rainy, cooler, or put a tarp over the van, which might not be a bad idea to invest in. So next on my list will be to finish removing panels in the van. Then I will go through and remove the flooring and the seat rails. And I think after that, I also am taking all the panels off the side door and the back doors. I'm not going to remove the panels on the front door because there's a lot going on there, and I'm not going to change them. The cab of the vehicle is going to stay exactly the way it is. I am going to add another shelf up here that will extend the headliner shelf out to here, which will be nice. It'll give me more storage. And since I'm not going to be using the air conditioner in the back, I don't know what I'm doing with these yet. I'll have to figure that out little by little. And thank goodness for YouTube and the people who have gone before me and posted things, because it's great to be able to learn from them and what they've done. I won't be using these rear speakers. They will be covered by all kinds of things. So I will probably disconnect and remove those, but again, the wiring will stay, because I don't want to start pulling wires and pull the wrong things and take myself down a road I don't want to go. So that's it. It's hot. I'm going to go take a shower and get ready for Emmy and Jude to come and spend the night with me. And I think that's it. Oh, one more thing I wanted to show you. I'll try not to go too fast. I am leaving these panels because I will be putting I don't know if my shower and bathroom are going to go in this section or not, but there will be a panel here that kind of separates the, it'll go right behind the front seat. And fortunately, my legs aren't so long that the seat has to come back very far. As a matter of fact, I think it's back further than I need it to be, because I had to move it forward to work on these. However, these are staying on, but they extended back. So I grabbed my little cutter and I trimmed those. They do not have to be pretty, because the interior walls of my van will butt up against them and hide that. I am going to file them down so they're not quite so jagged. But that was an experience, because the plastic kept melting as I was cutting it, because it would get heated up from the little, it's not a Dremel, but it's like a Dremel tool. So anywho, that's the scoop. I will call it a day, and I will talk to you all next time. Bye-bye. So a little here and there for my first video, but I enjoyed doing it, and I can't wait to continue to show the progress I make on this van each weekend. So I look forward to chatting with all of you again, and now I need to find something to do with all the stuff that came out of the van. It's amazing how much there is. Oh my gosh, look at that. And if any of you know anyone that needs a seat,